Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about visa options for living abroad. So for me personally, I just want to share my story of what's going on in my life. And right now I am looking into an educational visa here in Thailand. So I came last year in October, the end of October, on a tourist visa, and I stayed for 60 days. And then I went and extended my visa for an extra 30 days. So I got a total of 90 days. I ended up leaving, I think, at the end of January. Went ahead and went to Vietnam. Didn't have a great time in Vietnam. And after my 3 months in Vietnam, came back to Bangkok and decided that I wanted to pursue getting an educational visa. Now, the timing of this is really important because recently, like literally a couple of weeks ago, Thailand changed their tourist visa and you can only stay for 30 days. And before that happened, it was 60 days. You can come 2 times in the year for 60 days. And the first time you can extend for 30 days. The second time you can't extend. So we were coming on a 60-day tourist visa, me and my wife and I. And I was looking forward to applying to for the educational visa. And luckily I did because it takes about 50 days for you to go through the process of getting your visa through the educational aspect. And with the visa change now, the timeline, that wouldn't have worked at all if we would have came on a tourist visa. Now, going forward in the future, if you want to get an educational visa, you're gonna have to start the process, I believe, ahead of time. You're gonna have to start it before you come to Bangkok because you need enough time to go through the steps. So far we went to the like within the first week of getting here, probably like the first 3 days, we went to the school that we were interested in after we did some research. They had two different types of uh, education. They had two different types of like ways to learn the language, the easy route and the intensive route. We decided to do the intensive route because we actually want to learn Thai like for real, have like conversational Thai. We don't want to just be able to order things, which we can do right now anyway. We want to be able to like go past simple conversation. So we are doing the intensive course. We paid the money for that. We filled out the paperwork. It was pretty extensive. We had to bring a whole bunch of documents. And then we had to wait for them to process the paperwork with the government. Once they did that, they let us know to come and pick up our application. So we did that on Friday, like last week, last Friday, we went and picked up our application and they told us the process and the steps. We verified all of the pages, make sure everything was correct. And they were like, okay, when are you going to go to the immigration office? And we said we'd go on Monday. So today is Monday. So we went and it was actually a pretty easy process. It's just the timing. We went kind of late. We were having trouble getting up, honestly, and we got there around 10 o'clock because where we live like closer to the south area of I don't want to say how where we live. We live not that far from Icon Siam, and but that tells you nothing. But like we're in that area, and the immigration office is in Nonthaburi, so we had to go over there, and it took about 50 minutes, an hour to drive over there because of traffic, and we didn't get there until about 10 a.m. And with that meant that we were pretty far behind in the numbers. I think when we got there, it was like in the 20s for calling of the numbers, and we had number 64 and 65. So I was like, ooh, I don't know if we're gonna get called before lunch, because if they go to lunch, then we have to wait an hour after lunch to get called to do the paperwork. And I was like, I was doing the math, like an hour went by and I was doing the math and I was like, it looks like we're not gonna make it. And if we do make it, I could see us like one of us, like I had to go first, me going first, and then the time getting cut off, and then we'd still have to wait because of my wife. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. I got called at like 11:45. To My number was called and I got my paperwork, everything stamped and fine. And then the time ended and they made an announcement. They're like, we're closing up this waiting area. You have to come back after 1 p.m. So we did have to go and come back, but it was fine. My interaction with the immigration official was fine. She was very to the point, no smiling, nothing. There's like she's just making sure all the paperwork's correct and you sign your things. I said a few things in Thai, letting her know like I am not joking around. I'm here for real. And I think that kind of helped eased a little bit of tension. And yeah, we did all the things. She took my picture and it was fine. You paid the fee, which was 2,000 baht. and they give you a blue form with your date on it so that you know when to come for your appointment with the immigration office. So that is 2.5 weeks from now is our appointment. And so then after the lunchtime, so lunch came, and so we were like, okay, well, let's just go get some food. They had a whole market there and this whole like marketing campaign that was centered around like some like traditional Thai clothes and like jewelry and luxury items. And it was actually they had an event like after I'm skipping ahead. So there was a whole market. And it was huge. There was food, there was clothing, there was jewelry, there was so much stuff going on. It was so big. And we just got some food and enjoyed ourselves and like just took it all in. And then we're like, let's come back over here when we're done. So we did that at 1 o'clock. We went back to the immigration. It was my wife's turn. She went same exact thing. She saw someone else, a different person. And oh, also you do need a Thai phone number. I forgot to point that out, but that's very affordable. You get one through AIS. It's very easy. So you have to call her number, make sure your phone number works, and yeah, and it was fine. She got her blue stamp. We had our appointments are on the same day. Um, when in 2.5 weeks from now. And so that happened, and then when we were done with that, we're like, okay, that's cool. That step's over. And so we decided to go back to the market. We bought a few more things at the market, and then there was like an event happening for the military, because where the immigration office is a whole bunch of government offices, and then there's also the a military presence, like the 11th Infantry District. So they were doing a military kind of recognition thing. They were doing performances. There was like this touching of a button and then like lights went off and sirens and confetti and like smoke machine. It was like, what is what's going on? I missed it. I missed getting any footage of that. I'm kind of sad about it, but it was very interesting situation. And we walked around the mall. Um, or the mall, the immigration office, which felt like a mall. There was a Tops, there was a Watson's, there were three different food halls. There were other places that had more markety kind of setups, like, but they were smaller and they were selling food and snacks and like and items and trinkets and things and clothes and there was just like so much stuff and tons of coffee shops. It felt like a mall. And I'm like, of course, like a government building would have something like this, right? We got some smoothies, like it was like it was like so bizarre. It was one of the most pleasant government uh experiences I've ever had in my life. Most pleasant ever. And if you're from the United States and you ever dealt with social services, you would know that it is incredibly like boring, it's hard, it's frustrating, a tedious kind of experience dealing with social services, or even just like DMV. Like it's not a pleasant experience to deal with the government, but it was totally fine dealing with immigration and going through that process. And there were just so many amenities. There was a 7-Eleven in there, like anything you could need. There were several banks, like there was a clinic, there was massages. It was blowing my mind. It was blowing me and my wife's mind. We're like, wow, it was just amazing up there. And then there's a walkway if you want to do laps. Like it's crazy how amazing the facility is. And yeah, we did that. And then when we're done with that, we called a car and we went home. Another hour back home. Um, at the end of that, we took a picture of our blue receipts and we sent that to our school. So the school has that now, and they will let us know when we need to come back to the school, and we will take a group picture with our cohort in front of the building. The government official will come and take our picture, and so we'll do that. And then that's going to happen next week, I believe. Yeah. And then the week after that is when we go to our appointment. And so far, it seems pretty straightforward. Like it doesn't seem like there's going to be any hiccups as far as I know. The considering we paid the fee, we got the blue receipt. I feel like we're about 75% done, maybe like 50% done. We're almost there. And it should be a smooth process, and we will be able to stay in the country for 11 months. And that'll give us time to really, I hope, learn the language pretty well and, pick up this new skill. And of course, like I want to learn the language. I want to be able to interact with more Thai people and have deeper conversations. I want to learn more about the culture and I want to stay here. Like if I'm gonna live in a country that for a long period of time, almost a year, I want to get to act, really, really integrate. I don't want to just be a tourist here and only interact with people who speak English or have a hard time communicating. Like, I actually want to be involved. I want to be literate. I want to be able to read signs and to read information or what have you. Like, I want to have a more immersive experience. Because ultimately, I do really like this country, and I think that one day, hope I don't know what's going to happen after this visa process after we finish learning the language. I would like to live here long term. I don't know if it would be full time or if it would be like, half a year every year or something like that. But there are other visas that I could take advantage of, including like the Thai privilege visa, which gives you years at a time access to the country. But honestly, it's just based on how much money you have, and we don't have money. We are budget travelers, as I've said, but hopefully one day we do have money and we can apply for the Thailand privilege visa and be able to stay here and contribute to society, give back. And we interact with locals. Like, we don't really be going to like the Western places and like spending our money on like chains and stuff like that. We go to local places and give our money to local people, and we want to continue to do that. So, I'm really happy with the process so far. Hopefully, knocking on wood here, that it continues to go smoothly. But if it doesn't, I'll be here. I'll let you know what happens. And if things don't work out, there's always plan B, plan C, plan D. You just come up with other options and move forward. But like I said, I really, really respect this country, and I really hope that everything works out and I get to stay here for the next, at this point, it would be, yeah, 11 months, I believe. But since we're already here, maybe 12 months. Because it starts from once you get the stamp. So, yeah, very exciting. Looking forward to the next process, and I hope this was educational for people to know what it's like to go through the education visa process. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. And as always, I will see you tomorrow because I post every single day. And thank you for being here. And I appreciate the new subscribers. I got a couple of new subscribers. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Real quick before you leave, if you enjoyed this video and you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm really building this channel for people who want honest conversations about traveling, living abroad, financial freedom, and just figuring life out outside the box. I'm not your average guy. I occupy quite a lot of identities that are not mainstream. My perspective gives a unique outlook that doesn't always get a voice in popular media, and I appreciate anyone open to hearing my voice, knowledge, and experience. So if that's your vibe, subscribe, join the community, and let's keep exploring together.